Black background, National Park Service arrowhead logo on top of rainbow flag graphic. Text reads Stonewall National Monument, Golden Gate National Recreation Area. 2 park rangers holding a rainbow flag in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. Text reads Ranger Stephanie, pronouns she, her. Ranger Mike, pronouns they, he.
Hi, I'm Ranger Stephanie.
And I'm Ranger Mike.
And we're here at the Presidio
in Golden Gate National Recreation Area in San Francisco, California.
Whee!
Park ranger laughing in Christopher Park in front of a rainbow flag reading Stonewall National Monument, established 2016. Graphic reads Ranger Julie, pronouns she, they.
And I'm Ranger Julie from Stonewall National Monument in New York City. And on behalf of the National Park Service, please enjoy this collaborative program dedicated to Gilbert Baker. He's the artist who created the original rainbow flag and also an activist we honor this World AIDS Day.
Archival interview with Gilbert Baker featuring images of rainbow flags.
I didn't even think twice about what the flag would be. A rainbow fit us. It is from nature. It connects us to all the colors of sexuality and all the diversity in our community. Really, up until the rainbow flag, the pink triangle was the dominant symbol that we used. But it came from the Nazis. It was put on us. It had a really horrible negative origin.
Ranger Stephanie, with long curly brown hair and big brown expressive eyes, stands in front of the Golden Gate Bridge and a blue sky.
The LGBTQ+ community has a long history of intertwining art and protest to combat discrimination and erasure. The story of the rainbow flag and Gilbert Baker from San Francisco to New York.
Insert of clips from the 1978 rainbow flag and a boat with several rainbow flags sailing past the Statue of Liberty.
Showcases the connections between the LGBTQ+ community, protest, and art. Baker said, when all else fails, art is the ultimate weapon.
Ranger Mike, with brown beard, brown eyes, plus glasses, stands in front of the Golden Gate Bridge with clouds. Archival footage from the 1978 San Francisco Pride Parade and the 1994 New York Stonewall 25.
2 Pride Parades, 1978 and 1994, were historic events for the rainbow flag and for the LGBTQ+ community. Though the protests looked different, from the gay liberation movement to ACT UP or AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, the fight for visibility and equal rights was present in both. The connection between these 2 parades and protests starts on the shores next to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Ranger Stephanie stands on the main post in the Presidio.
The Presidio was the start of Gilbert Baker's journey in San Francisco. He came to this city as a medic in the Army.
Insert of Gilbert Baker wearing an Army uniform and glasses and brown hair to his ears.
Living in the Presidio from 1970 to 1972. Baker wrote, I was assigned to the barracks on the sandy shores of the bay. My cubicle had a window with an unobstructed view of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Ranger Mike stands on the main post in the Presidio.
Baker fell in love for the first time in the Presidio, motivating him to be open about his sexuality after his discharge. He said, the power of love opened my closet door.
Insert of Baker with long hair and makeup, then video of Harvey Milk on a car in the 1978 Gay Freedom Day Parade.
Baker joined the gay liberation movement and worked with activists like Harvey Milk, Cleve Jones, and Pat Norman.
Ranger Stephanie in front of the Golden Gate Bridge.
On June 25, 1978, Gilbert Baker and a team of his friends hoisted 2 60 by 30 rainbow flags into the air at the United Nations Plaza in San Francisco. They had spent months laboring over the creations. Baker and his friends joined the Gay Freedom Day Parade and opened a piece of the rainbow flag.
Archival video of the 1978 Gay Freedom Day Parade Committee with Baker marching followed by pieces of the rainbow flag.
Baker wrote, as we carried it down the street, the crowd began tossing money at us and making wishes. A bizarre barrage of glittering coins flew all around us, some splashing onto the street. Drag queens approached and spread flowers in front of our footsteps. All of these people understood what we had worked so hard to create and what it was all about. We laughed until we cried.
Ranger Stephanie stands in front of a pond in the Presidio at the former Letterman Army Hospital site.
The years following this monumental event brought incredible change to San Francisco. The activism and advocacy of many would be forced to shift when the HIV epidemic began in 1981. The loss this epidemic brought to the LGBTQ+ community, the United States, and the world is insurmountable. By 1984, San Francisco's rate of infection was the highest per capita in the nation. Public funds, research, and government aid was inconceivably low.
Ranger Mike stands in front of a pond in the Presidio at the former Letterman Army Hospital site.
Every healthcare professional and hospital in the city and the nation felt the impacts of this epidemic. This includes Letterman Army Hospital in the Presidio, which used to be located right behind where I'm standing now. The hospital began testing for HIV in military personnel and veterans in 1985. In the following years, the hospital would provide educational material about HIV and AIDS and seek out volunteer massage therapists to better serve patients who were diagnosed with AIDS.
Ranger Stephanie stands in front of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Pat Norman served as the first openly gay employee with the San Francisco Health Department.
Insert of Pat Norman smiling with yellow jacket, hoop earrings, and short black hair.
And as the first coordinator for lesbian and gay health services. In 1985, Pat Norman said, "In the case of AIDS, it took 2.5 years to get a response, for people to begin to understand that people who were gay still deserved a research project."
Ranger Mike stands in front of the Golden Gate Bridge.
LGBTQ activist Cleve Jones collaborated with Gilbert Baker to once again use art as protest, this time against the lack of resources and awareness for HIV and AIDS. Volunteers wrote the names of their loved ones who had passed on place cards and taped them to the walls of the San Francisco Federal Building in 1985. The demonstration resembled a quilt.
Montage of the AIDS Memorial quilt images in San Francisco and Washington, D.C.
Cleve Jones grew this event into the Names Project AIDS Memorial quilt. The quilt was first displayed on October 11, 1987, during the National March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights. Pat Norman was a co-chair for this event. The quilt featured 1,920 panels, all honoring people who had been lost to the epidemic. The quilt continued to be displayed in Washington, D.C., and when it was displayed in 1992, it had 20,000 panels.
Ranger Stephanie on the main post in the Presidio.
Gilbert Baker never patented the rainbow flag and never earned income from its popularity. He said, "No patent or copyright could be issued. It didn't bother me. In fact, that was the whole point of creating it."
Gilbert Baker in a rainbow flag dress dances around a room draped in orange fabric.
"I like the idea of the rainbow flag not belonging to any one individual, and the fact that anyone could do anything with it." Baker could not afford to attend the March on Washington in 1978 or the Second March on Washington for gay, lesbian, and bi-equal rights and liberation in 1993. This event became one of the largest in LGBTQ+ civil rights history. Gilbert Baker watched from his TV in San Francisco as 1 million people demonstrated in DC, many holding the rainbow flag. This event inspired Baker to create the longest flag in the world, 1 mile long, for Stonewall's 25th anniversary the following year in New York.
Archival footage from Stonewall 25 and then Ranger Julie in front of the Stonewall Inn, a brick building with rainbow lights, flags, and posters for upcoming drag shows. Montage of the LGBTQ community protesting from the 1950s through the 1970s.
This anniversary commemorated the uprisings at the Stonewall Inn here in New York's Greenwich Village, which began on June 28, 1969. Although LGBTQ acts of resistance existed before this date and across the country, this event was the catalyst for the modern and more visible LGBTQ civil rights movement. Prior to Stonewall, there were barely 50 LGBTQ organizations, and afterwards, about 1,000, plus the annual Pride marches to celebrate the occasion.
Ranger Julie stands in front of a salmon-colored building under a gold sign reading Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Community Center.
When Gilbert Baker arrived in New York City to sew the world's largest flag, he began attending meetings with ACT UP New York, which was started here at the LGBT Community Center in 1987.
Montage insert of ACT UP protests around New York City, plus portraits of the people who began and supported the organization.
He called this group the most famous source of radical queer activity in the world. Its outrageous antics were legendary, he explained. ACT UP made art out of civil disobedience. It served as the playground of genius media manipulators, all thrusting AIDS into the public's face. In 1988, a workshop was also established here to build panels for Cleve Jones's Names Project AIDS Memorial Quilt. For Stonewall 25 in 1994, Pat Norman signed on to co-chair, and Cleve Jones found sponsorship for Gilbert Baker to construct this record-breaking flag.
Insert photos of Cleve Jones, Gilbert Baker, the Flag Workshop, and archival video of Stonewall 25's Pride Parade.
Which Baker explained was to leverage the symbol of our movement into something tangible to fight AIDS. We dubbed the project Raise the Rainbow.
Ranger Julie has shoulder-length brown hair and gray-blue eyes, standing in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral, which flies a prominent American flag. The sidewalks are bustling.
The goal for Stonewall 25's Pride March was to go down Fifth Avenue, just like most parades in New York. But the city insisted on pushing this event to First Avenue, citing limited availability of police resources. They were also attempting to shield St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Insert montage of protest images inside and outside St. Patrick's Cathedral,
which had already seen a memorable protest in 1989 from ACT UP, who opposed religious teachings they felt discriminated against the LGBTQ community, such as practices related to the AIDS crisis. A contentious fight with the city ensued, including lawsuits from Stonewall 25 organizers like Pat Norman. So ACT UP, Gilbert Baker, and many others planned a counter-protest that would begin in Greenwich Village.
Insert protest group with signs reading, AIDS, where is your rage? ACT UP, fight back, fight AIDS. In the tradition of Stonewall, ACT UP, queers fighting AIDS. Video insert of Baker in a black sequin dress dancing in the workshop and unveiling rainbow flag curtains, followed by images of the mile-long flag along First Avenue cut into pieces, and then Fifth Avenue, and marching into Central Park.
Baker writes in his memoir, "The stakes are higher than the fate of this one flag. This isn't about where the rainbow flag goes, but how the gay and lesbian community fits into society, and under whose terms." After a successful unfurling of the mile-long flag with almost 10,000 volunteers on the official First Avenue route, Gilbert Baker cut up 10 sections and rushed them in a taxi to Fifth Avenue, where he and his fellow activists walked them past a barricaded St. Patrick's Cathedral into Central Park. There they were given to representatives from different countries, which were then flown at Pride parades the following year. The rainbow flag was lifted from a national symbol to global icon of unity and hope for the LGBTQ community.
Ranger Julie stands under a white latticed structure in front of a white building with round black windows. Then insert of sign on the ground reading former site of St. Vincent's Hospital, 1849 to 2010. Excellence, respect, integrity, compassion. The hospital was founded by the Sisters of Charity in response to the cholera outbreak. Then insert of protest photos inside St. Vincent's Hospital.
The New York City AIDS Memorial is on the grounds of the former St. Vincent's Charity Hospital. The East Coast's first and largest AIDS ward opened in 1984 and modeled after San Francisco General's Ward 86. This location is also 1 block from the LGBT Community Center, just up the avenue from Stonewall National Monument, as well as sandwiched between Greenwich Village and Chelsea. These neighborhoods have historically housed a significant LGBTQ population who have disproportionately been affected by the AIDS epidemic. Although the community was mostly grateful for St. Vincent's service, ACT UP staged a demonstration here in 1989 to protest some of the religious policies and procedures. As a result, the hospital listened to these concerns and made a few adjustments, such as sensitivity training for its staff. This memorial honors those taken by AIDS, as well as the activists, caregivers, health professionals, and researchers, past, present, and future, working to fight discrimination and eradicate this disease.
Ranger Mike at the AIDS Memorial Grove, then insert of the memorial with stone names and orange flowers.
In 1991, volunteers broke ground on the AIDS Memorial Grove, here in Golden Gate Park. In 1995, the epidemic's single deadliest year, and a year after Stonewall 25, the United States lost 50,000 Americans to the AIDS epidemic.
In 1996, the AIDS Memorial Grove was designated as the nation's AIDS Memorial Site.
Ranger Stephanie at the memorial with an insert of a large stone reading National AIDS Memorial Grove on a green lawn in front of tall trees.
When the quilt was displayed in D.C. in 1996, it had over 40,000 panels. The name's AIDS Memorial Quilt is now housed here with the memorial today.
Ranger Mike in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, then an insert of archival parade footage from San Francisco, 1978.
The LGBTQ+ community exists in the intersections of all groups and transcends borders and boundaries. The stories of our community connect us, from the rangers here at Golden Gate National Recreation Area in San Francisco to rangers at Stonewall National Monument in New York City.
Ranger Stephanie in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, then an insert of archival parade footage from San Francisco, 1978.
The rainbow flag is a bridge from the Presidio to Stonewall, a bridge through time, through struggles and intersections, and through important sites in our nation's history.
Ranger Julie back at Christopher Park in front of rainbow flags on a fence. Then insert video of iconic buildings around the world lit up in rainbow colors. We end with a photo of Gilbert Baker on a black background bathed in red light. Eyes down, hands working on a sewing machine to create a rainbow flag.
And now Gilbert Baker's influence is appreciated everywhere as a unifying symbol of the LGBTQ community. He wrote, "I remember what Harvey had said about giving them hope. I plan to sew up hundreds of new rainbow flags to make the event colorful at a time when everybody was ready to paint it black. I wanted to show the world we would survive."
Black background with the National Park Service Arrowhead logo on a rainbow flag graphic. Text reads, Stonewall National Monument, Golden Gate National Recreation Area. Special thanks to Charlie Beal for many of the photos and videos used in this program. Charlie is a lifelong social activist, collaborator with Gilbert Baker, and president of the Gilbert Baker Foundation, which is dedicated to extending the legacy of Gilbert Baker, in parentheses, 1951 to 2017.